Hi guys, my name is Shamanda. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things mental health, personal finance, and overall strategies to live your best life. Alright guys, so in this video I want to tell you guys about 5 ways that I changed my mindset from broke mindset to abundance mindset that actually landed me with over $400,000 worth of assets in the last 24 months. So stay tuned. All right, so I kid you not, I am just as in shock because how? Really? Here I'm going to insert a clip. I checked my investment accounts. They're all in one space where I can see all of my income and investments, everything, things that I own, things like that. I can see everything. And my asset column reached or exceeded $400,000 just a couple days ago. And I am so shocked. And so I had some time to think about, like, how did this happen? Like, what are the things that I have done in this last 2 years, which is when I started investing, to grow it so fast? Because I literally started from zero, y'all. Like, I kid you not. So I'm going to start with just 5 reasons and 5 ways that you can shift your mindset from broke to abundance that could lead you to growing your net worth in your asset column. So number 1 is you have to have a mindset shift. Now, I know that's easier said than done. And as a licensed therapist, I work with my clients all the time on changing their mindset. And one way I do that is through cognitive behavioral therapy, which is changing negative patterns. So the first thing I would suggest is, and what I did, was look at your childhood and your feelings and your experiences around money. So for me, I grew up in a single family home. My mom was a single parent of 3 kids. And there were a lot of things that, a lot of experiences that I had around money. And it created a scarcity mindset where whenever I got older and I started getting money, I would hold on to it. I'm like, oh, I need to make sure I have enough money for the bills, enough money for if this happens. And there was a mindset of thinking that I wouldn't have enough, or there would be an emergency and I wouldn't be prepared, because there had been a lot of situations and experiences that proved that to be true. And so my mindset was of fear and scarcity. And so that's the first thing you want to do, is create a space where you believe in your ability to attract and to get and gain more money and more finances. You have to believe that it's possible. And there's more strategies to help that. But allowing yourself to shift from that mindset of like, there's never enough, to I can go and earn more money, or figuring out, being proactive and figuring out ways and strategies to actually earn more money and save more money and see it grow and, in your investment accounts and things like that, and believing and knowing that there's more, not like, oh, this paycheck that I have this week is the end and I'm not going to get any more. Like, that, no, there's more coming. And again, like I said, having money in your savings account and things like that, you start to realize that, like, there is more, and I don't need to be afraid of spending or investing this money, because it's always going to come back to me. There's more coming to me. So that's the first thing, is being willing and able to shift that mindset from like that scarcity mindset to more of abundance thinking, practicing gratitude, drawing those things to you, and believing that there is more to come. All right, number 2 is setting clear goals. When it comes to finances, when I say goals, to me that's synonymous with setting a budget, because it's one of the primary things. Now, goals and budgeting obviously are 2 different things. However, the first thing you want to do is create a budget. Your budget is going to drive your goals. Why? Because it's going to tell you how fast, how slow, how often, whatever, right? So for example, let's say you want to max out your Roth IRA for this year. For 2024, the goal or the maximum contribution is $7,000. Well, you have to create a budget to show, okay, this is what my expenses are every month. This is what my income is every month. And this is what's left over where I can kind of, use for investing or saving. And let's say you have $600. Most people don't, but that may mean you need to, create a different stream of income or additional stream of income. But let's say you do have $600 left over and your goal is to max out your Roth IRA. Then if you break it down, which is what I've done this year, break it down into by 12 months. So that means you need $583 every month to hit the $7,000 goal for the end of the year. So right there, your budget has helped you set that goal and maintain that goal, because now you know that out of that 600, you need to allocate 583 toward that Roth IRA investment account. So setting clear goals, know where you want to do, where you want to go. So let's say if you want to purchase a home, what do you need to do? Then for me, for example, I purchased my first home last year. I just hit 1 year on August 31st as a homeowner, as a single mom of 2, former high school dropout, Section 8, government, everything, and now I am a homeowner, and that feels amazing to me. But that did not come overnight. That required me to change my mindset and to believe that it was possible. And I had to create some goals, right? So for example, I had to make sure I cleaned up my credit. Like you have to have at least a 580 in order to qualify for these mortgages. So I knew that was the case. I needed to have a down payment to purchase the home. I needed to know when I could move and what would be best for my work schedule and with my kids, in terms of school. So you have to set certain goals to create and bring forth and bring to life your financial goals as well. Additionally, with setting goals, you want to have short-term goals and long-term goals. So for me, short-term goal would be like what I'm doing now. If you follow my other videos, I'm talking about like maxing out my 401k, maxing out my Roth IRA. And again, as I gave in the previous example, you want to break those down monthly. So for my Roth IRA, it's $583 every month that I need to put in that account in order to reach maxing out that account. Maybe a short-term goal might be saving for a down payment to purchase your first home. And so then you'll find out like, okay, how much home do I want to purchase? Like, what are the going rates or prices for homes in this specific area? Okay, if it's this amount and I need 3% or 3.5% down, how much is that? And let me start working backwards. So you start saving to reach that goal. Now for me, long-term goal would be to reach $1 million or more in net worth, right? And so I'm like, okay, the first thing, obviously my asset column is growing fast. However, that debt column, that's the thing. That's what slows you down from reaching that millionaire status. So what that means is paying off debt. So if I know that my goal is to become a millionaire, multimillionaire, then I need to make sure I'm paying off debt just as fast as I'm growing my asset column. Otherwise, it won't happen. So, you have your short-term goals and you have your long-term goals. Another short-term goal would be to go to, gain more education or get more certifications or whatever, so that you can increase your income. Because again, if you don't, then you're continuing to live in that scarcity mindset where you don't have enough. And it's a little bit rooted in reality, because you're looking at your paycheck and it's like how can I do this, and this with this amount of money? The reality is you can't. Some people will tell you, oh, just keep budgeting. Like, no, that's not enough. You have to grow your income. And so being strategic, setting some short-term goals of, like I said, expanding your education, and things like that, so that you can reach those goals. All right, that leads me to number 3. Number 3 is very important. That is financial education. Watching this video, learning from someone who's already maybe a couple steps ahead of you, that can tell you what they've done, what they have not done, what they did that worked, what they did that failed. You want to start like watching YouTube videos or watching people who are really big on finances and that are transparent. You don't want people who are like, oh yeah, I reached this goal, but I'm not going to tell you how. Like, who got time to play with y'all? Nobody. Okay. So watch these videos, find people who you can follow that maybe are even in the same career space as you, so they maybe earn similar incomes, or they can tell you like, hey sis, hey bruh, you're not earning enough. Like, you should be getting paid at least 6 figures for what you do and for your level of education and your level of experience. And you might want to try to like find another company to work for. Like, find the education, find the information. It's out there. We have Google, we have YouTube, we have like it's TikTok, like Twitter. Like, there's so many sources of income, of education. The one that worked for me, and this is going back from years, when I was literally just becoming a single mom, freshly single mom. My kids were little. I was in school full time. I was working full time, and there would be a little bit of a break in between getting off work and the time that I was need to pick up my kids from school. So I would actually go to the library. Y'all, I kid you not. Here I was, this 20-something-year-old woman with 2 kids, struggling but barely making it. I'm going to school full time, get my master's degree, a bachelor's degree probably at that time, and just trying to make it, not knowing anything. But I had this desire to learn. I had this desire to learn more about income. I wanted to be middle class. At that time, I wanted to be middle class. I would drive through these neighborhoods and I would see these beautiful houses and these cars, and I would be in the grocery store and I would see people pay with their debit card for their groceries and stuff. And I was like, I want to be like that one day. Like, I'm standing behind them with grocery full of food, but I got my EBT card. But I want to pay in cash one day. I want to have the opportunity and the ability to pay and buy groceries when I want to, and not when I get this money on my card. And there was nothing against that, but it was just a desire that I had, that level of freedom to not have to depend on someone. And if that money, those funds ran out, I have money in my account where I can go get some more. If I want some more ice cream by the end of the month, I don't got to wait till EBT. I can go get some ice cream. If I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted that. And so I wanted it so bad that I would spend that time where literally was the only time I would have free from outside, in terms of being a mom, to myself. I would spend that time in the library and I would read books. So I started reading books by Dave Ramsey. I started reading books by Susie Osman, I think that's her name. Comment below, like, correct me, because I can't think of her last name. But I would read books like that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Y'all all know that book, I'm sure. Like, most people who don't even do finances, they still know about that book. Think and Grow Rich. And I even read the black version of it by Dennis Kill. Starts with a K. His last name starts with a K. But I would read those books. I would spend hours in that library. That was my only free time, y'all, before I go pick up my kids after I've left work or I left school. I would spend that time in the library. And so that saturated my mind with this education about finances that I would never have gotten anywhere else, because no one around me was even thinking about that type of stuff. Nobody around me was teaching me about finances or how to invest or saving your money or budgeting or how to purchase a home, the importance of credit. Nobody around me was teaching me or knew anything about that, but I wanted it so bad that I would spend that time in the library. So a couple books that I wanted to share with you guys, newer books that I've been reading, is this book. This is the 21-Day Financial Fast. This has worked wonders in my life just in the last 12 months, I would say, because during this time I actually was able to purchase my home when I did the first fast. And I'm just so grateful. So, and this one right here by Rachel Rogers, she's awesome. We Should All Be Millionaires. I love this, especially for people who are, underrepresented or in some like minority class. I would say this is, following her, like in what she says, because I think most people of different cultures, they're okay. They already know they can be millionaires. They were taught that from early on, but for some reason, people of color believe that that's like a far-fetched goal, and like this idea that it's not something that can happen, or well, I'm stuck at this job, and so how realistic is that? Well, there are ways. There's so many strategies. It's possible, and again, you have to change your mindset. You have to believe that it's possible. And so I study people like that who have already done it. They started from the bottom. They've already done it, so I know that it's possible for me. Now, another book that I like, and I purchased not too long ago is this The Psychology of Money. This is really good as well, and it taught me a lot. I have a lot highlighted in this book, and it's really good, so I definitely recommend it. But you have to change, again, your mindset around money, and this has some really good nuggets in it. And y'all, don't judge me on this book right here, but I had it for so long. There is 2 versions of this book. There's the Millionaire Next Door, the regular version, and then there's the Millionaire Women Next Door. And I know this book has been through the ringer, I don't know. But y'all, this book is so good. So again, education, I would spend, y'all, I'm a minimalist. Do you see my office? Baby, what? Like, a minimalist, okay? I don't spend money on stuff. I save it. It's invested. If it's not gonna grow, I don't, no. I ain't trying to impress nobody. But guess what I will spend money on? books, like, period. So I love learning about finances. It has been transformational for me. It's the reason that I have been able to reach over $400,000 of assets in just the last 24 months. All right, number 4, you want to invest wisely. So I'm not going to go into like, oh, these here are different investment strategies, all that. I'm not a professional at all. I'm not even going to try to pretend to be one. That is not my area. However, it is possible to get started investing, and I keep talking about this every week in my weekly vlog. So if you have a video, personal finance, I post one every 2 weeks tracking my 401k and my Roth IRA milestones. But I talk so much about investing. It is like, oh, y'all, compound interest. I think they said Albert Einstein said that it's like the 9th wonder or the 8th wonder of the world, something like that. But anyway, like, y'all, it is amazing. So investing your money, it allows it to grow, and you're gaining interest on that money. So if I put $25 in, I might look and see that like the next day, due to the market or whatever, now I'm at like 35, and that's just $10 that I didn't earn. That is not my, you know what I'm saying? I didn't put that money in there. I didn't work for that money, but because it's invested, I just got $10. And just imagine, the more you put in there, the more it grows. Like, I'll go in sometime and look at my accounts, and it's like $500 more. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, that is crazy to me. So investing wisely, and not just in like stocks, but also investing in yourself, right? Like, again, education. Maybe you want to take a class on credit and repairing your credit, so that when you do purchase a home, you're not paying so much for like interest, or, you know what I'm saying, like certain things like that that can happen if you have a low credit score. Sometimes some people want a financial coach or something like that. So being willing to invest in yourself. Again, we talked about it before, but investing in your education, I'm talking about like actual like university education or certifications to grow your income. Anything you can do to grow your income. Also, investing in a business. Nobody wants, listen, that is like the secret sauce. I'm going to be honest. Most people will be like, no, I don't want to run a business. I'm not an entrepreneur. But the best thing to do, I would highly suggest, is to find something you're passionate about that you could monetize in some way. And that could be like a source of income for you. I mean, for some people, that has been a gig worker. Let me just be honest. Like, maybe you really like to talk to people, and you could turn that gig income to, you know, a stream of income, and use that to buy some investment properties, buy some stocks, things like that. So just being willing to invest. The investment account that I use, or brokerage I use, is Fidelity. They are great. I haven't had any problems with them. I would definitely say capitalize off your 401k, especially if your employer matches it. Y'all, that is free money. Oh my gosh, I cannot even emphasize it enough. It is free money. So at least match enough up to that point. Figure out what you got to cut out of your budget in order to be able to afford, because some people say, well, I can't afford nothing to be taking out my paycheck. Find something that you can sacrifice every month so that you can at least get that employer match. Because I'm telling you, when you look back 12 months from now and you realize how much every week, every month, the day that it came out of your paycheck and it grew, and you're like, wow, this in 12 months, it is amazing, y'all. So do that. Of course, invest in real estate. I'm going to say that I am, just some self-disclosure, I am actually a licensed real estate broker. I do not practice. I'm not with any firm or anything like that. Actually, I could run my own firm if I wanted to, because I am a licensed broker, full broker. I'm just inactive. I don't engage in real estate right now, other than being a homeowner. But my goal in the next 24 months is to obtain and acquire some real estate properties to rent out. So that is the fastest way to building wealth. And I read that so many times and I didn't really fully understand it until like recently, y'all. Because again, out of that $400,000, about 80% of that is from my home value. Like, that is amazing. Amazing that just by obtaining a home, I now have almost $500,000 worth of assets. That is crazy, y'all. I just purchased my home last year. So between purchasing a home, investing the last 2 years, saving the last 2 years, like, y'all, and paying off debt and things like that, like literally it has been game changing, and it has taken me from this broke scarcity mindset to abundance, because I'm looking at this number like, wow, it's possible, it can happen. And that being able to visualize that and see that in person, like right there in front of you, those numbers, it really makes things a lot more easier, because now you know that it's possible, and you know you can have more. If you can reach this, you can if I can hit 400K, guess what? I can hit 4 million. So that's how I look at it. That's how you have to look at it as well. All right, last but not least, it is important to build a support network and accountability people or partners. This is so important. I think I fully started to really understand this the last couple months, honestly, because I realized, like, you know, I talk a lot about finances with like close people, but like they're not necessarily so focused on finances as I am. I'm like obsessed with it, honestly. Like, not like hitting the millionaire goal or anything like that, but like being free, financially free. Just the whole concept of it, learning more about it, understanding how like one person out of your family tree, which could be you, could literally change the trajectory of your entire lineage. Like, think about it. Like, all it takes is one person out of your family to completely change the lives of everybody. And that to me is like, wow, like I owe it to my kids. I owe it to my grandchildren. I owe it to my great-grandchildren to be more. Because the world we live in, yes, we're like right now at the filming of this video, we're going through a recession. So, you know, people don't want to hear this right now. But it's going to turn. It always turns. If you look at the cycles, it always changes. So it's like, what can I do now to start to work toward these goals that can change our lives forever? And so for me, I know that I'm like the person who's like really on that and really into that. And I realized like people around me weren't so into it. So then I was like, oh, you have to find a community of people who are just as passionate and excited and low-key borderline obsessed with this as you are. And then it won't feel like you're the odd man out. And you can have accountability. You'll have people who can hold you accountable, like, hey, did you stick to your budget this week? Or that you can share your goals with and your successes with. Because that accountability and being able to share those wins or even your setbacks, that is what's going to help keep you consistent. Being able to check in with somebody, or even knowing that you have to check in with somebody, is going to keep you from going to that store and spending money that's not in your budget, or going by that handbag that is not in your budget, or changing your 401k contributions with your job. You know what I'm saying? When you said you wanted to max out your account that year. Like, having someone to hold you accountable is game changer. It's the secret sauce. So I hope these were helpful for you. I wanted to celebrate this moment, and I wanted to share, like, how did I get here? Because I had to think about it. How did I get to this point? And I hope these things have helped you. And we are going to keep pushing forward. If you have not already, like this video, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Again, I do a bi-weekly video every 2 weeks at my payday, talking about, you know, maxing out my 401k and things like that. And I try to share some nuggets and things like that. So I hope to see you on this journey, and I will see you next time. Bye.